CNN's reporter Jake Tapper was at it again, taking to Twitter in a tirade. He did that thing where people want to write a lot on Twitter, so they send a bunch of tweets in a row and then number them so that you know they're all together. And he went all the way up to 10, meaning he took 10 tweets for his tirade that actually defended none other than President Trump. Weirdly, kind of. Tapper was going off about how Trump had tweeted that vast sums of money to NATO and the United States must be paid more for the powerful and very expensive defense it provides to Germany. Tapper turned that into the idea that Trump was saying NATO members will have to pay back past dues somehow. You see, members of NATO are supposedly obligated to spend 2% of their GDP on defense. And while the US spends, I don't even know where it's at today, it keeps changing, but it's something close to 100% of our spending on defense. But other members of NATO are not upholding their obligation of the mere 2%. And in his Twitter tirade, Tapper actually presents those facts. He tweeted a link to a Defense One article, which shows that only 5 of the 28 NATO members have met the 2% threshold, which totally backs up President Trump's gripe that other countries aren't meeting their obligations, and that they're milking all our defense spending, and that if NATO is going to be an actual thing with actual rules, then other countries should start following those rules. So most of Tapper's tirade is in defense of the president. But Tapper refuses to acknowledge this. He totally goes off course saying that Trump is calling for other NATO countries to pay money they owed for past years, which it really didn't seem to me like Trump was doing that. I mean, sure, I wish the president would learn to use words more precisely too, but it's not the point of what's going on here. But Tapper turns his tirade into about how Trump is wrong to call for NATO nations to pay back dues, even though it's not really clear he was even doing that. So instead of just defending Trump for being right about these countries not following the rules, Tapper decided to make some other weird point entirely. And that's what drives me nuts about him. He's smart enough to know Trump's issue with NATO is, in his own words, completely legit. But then he still does what everyone in the media seems to do these days with our president. He finds some way to bash him, just to discredit him at all costs. But for doing that while defending Trump at the same time, to me, Tapper just ended up discrediting himself.